Hey, hey, welcome to a new session of Moon Magic. My name's Joan, and I'm with my good friend, astrologer Triana Elon.
Hello.
Hey, hey, and today we're here to talk about the full moon in Sagittarius. And, I am always curious, what's this new moon all about? What's she here to teach us? Which signs are going to be the most triggered? What are the lessons we can learn? And knowing that we have that big flashlight in the sky, what is it we're completing? What are we ending that is helping us right where we are for the next couple of weeks? And what Triana always reminds us is whatever the lessons are, whatever you're working on, whatever the messages are, the growth, the changes, the possibilities, whatever we're exploring, it's a short window. Just think of it this way: full moon to full moon, or new moon to new moon. So full moons are intense. They're supposed to be. It's the night sky fully lit. It's like your flashlight is on full beam so you can see way in front of you when you're walking in the dark. That's what the moon is highlighting. And for each sign, this moon is highlighting something a little bit different, a little different quality. So Triana, why don't you give us a little scoop about what's happening in the night sky that you think would be helpful for us to know?
Well, in general, in the night sky, aside from the full moon in Sagittarius, we have some very big events going on in that the big, slow moving planets have changed signs. And those planets don't change signs for something like 29 years, once in 29 years, once in like many more years than that. And we have Neptune that is now in Aries, and Saturn has moved into Aries. So they're working together. And when you have Neptune in Aries, Neptune is a dreamy sign that prefers to go slowly, go deep, and kind of meander around and take its time, in a sign, Aries, that wants to do everything right now, get out of my way, very energetic. So you've got that kind of an incompatibility happening. And then you have Saturn in Aries, and Saturn is about structure. And if it's not built right, it's going to fall down. So Saturn is considered to be a disciplinarian. In if you don't build a foundation correctly, you're not going to succeed. So Saturn can be seen as restrictive in that, hey, if you don't get this right, it ain't going to happen. And Saturn gets a bum rap for being restrictive, but it's there for a purpose because it's the architect of the universe. So you have those two planets working together in order to make a dream into reality through structured work and through taking action on a dream. So those are the two planets that change signs into a very active and proactive sign of Aries. Jupiter has moved into Cancer, and Jupiter is the planet of abundance, good fortune, and expansion. And that is all about, with Jupiter in Cancer, that's about caregiving. It's about reaching out to others. It's about compassion. And it's also about emotions. So we're going to see things really take a turn in that way for every sign. And that's where we'll be really seeing feelings a lot more, feelings expressed and feelings understood, people reaching out to each other more with that particular change. So those big planets have all changed signs and are operating in such a way that a whole lot is going to be going on. You're already feeling it without a doubt. And Jupiter is also in a conflictive alignment with Saturn and Neptune. And that indicates, in the big picture, on the big stage, arguments that are emotional in nature. And at the top level, we've been seeing, for instance, the Trump Elon conflict, the Trump Musk conflict going on in the news. We'll see other kinds of situations like that happening. And and that filters down into personal life, but it also has to do with the bigger picture and world events where there are arguments and a lot of emotion around those arguments. But it doesn't necessarily mean arguments all the time, but it's what this particular conflict can degrade into if the participants are not emotionally stable. Okay. So that's what's going on right now in the heavens. Strong feelings.
This, I think this is one of the most positive readings. For me, this is just one sexy reading. I love this. First of all, having a solid foundation, because that's what my whole life is about. It's critical for me to have a solid foundation, because if you're building a house on sand, you're not going to have any stability.
Right.
I'm a builder's daughter, so foundation is like natural to me. It's sort of like I kind of grew up in family, real estate, construction, property, business, and just knowing the value of that. And when we get it wrong, the consequences, and when we get it right, the consequences. And it's
Mm-hmm.
up to us to choose. Are you willing to slow down enough and invest in the unseen, invest in the drudgery things of getting the solid foundation in place? Are you willing to do the work? If you're
Exactly.
willing to do the work and get that solid foundation, magic starts happening.
And
And
that's where the Pisces element comes in, is in the magic that happens.
now that is really cool. And to help make our dreams a reality. I mean, I just know from personal experience that I can have a lot of dreams, but if I don't bother to, or if I'm a little lazy or procrastinate or whatever the thing is, or I'm just not feeling it, and it's just kind of a dream. But when I want that to be a reality is when I roll up my sleeves and I pick a timeline, I create a schedule, I build a structure, and I bring it to life. And so I think this is really cool, that the way that the planets that have moved, that haven't been in this alignment, now are helping all of us bring our dreams into reality. And of course, there's going to be arguments. Think about it. First,
Right.
arguments with yourself. I mean, hello. How often in your day is the conversation with yourself all green lights? I don't think so. There's that, that push and pull. And so I love that it's focused on communication.
Right.
Because arguments are not my specialty. I'm not comfortable with arguments, to be honest. I'm the most comfortable with arguments I've ever been in my life, because I no longer tolerate XYZ. My boundaries are so clear that I don't have people in my life that you can't have a conversation with. And it's so important. I wish I had learned this when I was married, but I had never learned this in partnership, is how agree to disagree
Right.
in healthy ways, like learn how to disagree, have a difference of opinion where it doesn't turn into a war, where one person
Mm-hmm.
goes silent, one person is really loud, or but you take your time, you have some space, you're curious, you think it through, you feel it through, and you come to a conclusion that you both understand. So I think going forward, it's learning how to experience both sides, or as my brother reminds me, being able to hold disparaging thoughts, two opposite thoughts at the same time, and have a conversation of curiosity, as opposed to go into feeling wounded or not safe or whatever. So I think it determines who you choose to have in your conversation, the people who
Right.
are around you. So you're expressing in a safe way that feels comfortable your expression. So I think signs that are encouraging self-expression, I think that's healthy. And of course, when we're learning something new, oh, there's going to be oopses all the time. Every day there's oopses, but there's ahas as well.
I have a story about that. When I was back in my 30s, at that age where we knew everything, or at least thought we did, I was living in England and I was having a conversation with my friend I told you about the other day, that when we got the fish and chips, that friend. And we were sitting, we were at the cottage in Somerset, and we were sitting on the outside on the steps smoking cigarettes and talking about the universe. And the conversation came around to God and whether or not there was really a God. And we took this merry little romp around the universe about the concept of God and all this stuff. And where we wound up was that there was no God. And then we said, well, if there's no God, then there's no devil either. That was categorically where that was our last statement. If there's no God, then there's no devil. The minute we said those words, a vixen let loose screaming in a bush, and it was totally dark outside. Oh my God, you never saw anybody move so fast. We leapt up and we both tried to get through the front door at the same time. We got stuck. We were screaming. When we both got into the house, we slammed the door and locked the door and locked all the windows. We were scared to death that the devil was going to come and get us.
Oh man,
So the
those,
universe has a sense of humor.
those little screams really do it.
Oh, they do.
Right to the core. Every
Oh,
hair is standing up and you're instantly running.
no.
I
That
love
was
that.
so funny.
That is great. I love that. What so when I was thinking about Sagittarius, I looked at a couple of, different things. When I think of Sag, I think of my friends, well, you being Sagittarius sun.
Hmm.
When I think of Sag, I think of fire, I think of fun, I think of enthusiasm and intensity. And it's like, if a Sagittarius can't have fun, it's no es posible. Sag is the most jovial play to me, the most humor, whether, you think about humor. And then I was reading something too, because all of my Sag friends are also very, very bright, intellectual, smart, and they're very driven, and they have
Hmm.
great skills at whatever it is they're doing. And one of the things, and see if you agree with this, was the idea of a quest for wisdom as
Oh, yes.
Sagittarius makeup. And I thought, Okay, so you've got wisdom, you've got humor. And I remember, great, um, it's very typical for comedians to have that extreme funny side where they're very gregarious and out there on stage. And they have a natural, very quiet, soft demeanor, might not speak a lot. But when they get into that other role, the opposite side comes out. So
Mm-hmm.
it's almost like there can be a depression, um, feeling so much. And then the flip side is fully expressing those feelings. And I think that a Sag expressing their feelings as the third level of fire, as the ultimate fiery expression, is something to behold. I mean, I just think it's fabulous. So I love all my Sag friends.
Yeah,
Because
we're quite a group.
yeah, and what other qualities when you think of Sagittarius? So for people listening and they're thinking about the Sagittarius moon and how it, what to you would be some takeaways for the Sag moon?
Well, this particular Sagittarius moon, Sagittarians are adventurous, and we also we do not like our feelings to get hurt. We'll walk away if somebody hurts our feelings, and we never forget that. And and we don't like being laughed at. I mean, unless we initiate it. But if we do something and make a mistake, and somebody laughs at us, that's kind of an affront. Unless we're the type that laughs at ourselves naturally, which most of us aren't, because we take what we do very seriously. And but by nature, we're happy people. And the reason why we get really enthusiastic about what we do is because we have fun doing it. And if we're not having fun doing it, we don't want to do it. And that's when we get really crabby and depressed. Um, this full moon is going to occur at 20 degrees of Sagittarius. So if you were born around the 11th of December, 3 days before or after, that is where you'll feel the full moon the most if you're a Sagittarius sun. And also if your moon is around 17 to 23 degrees of Sagittarius, you'll feel the moon the most as well. Um, um, this Sagittarius moon will also be 5 degrees away from a very beautiful alignment with Mars in Leo. So this moon is going to be glittering because Sagittarius and Leo get along very well. So look for it to be a really fun, kind of sparkling full moon, full of inspiration and possibility. And Sagittarius and Leo are both fun in their own way and have a lot of energy to give and a lot of guidance. Um, you'll find this particular full moon period to be very inspirational and a time of opportunity.
Wow, I'm excited.
Yeah, me too.
Hey, does anybody else feel like they're ready for this?
I think we all are.
Absolutely. We deserve all this magic. It's our turn.
That's right.
Well, and anything else to say on that, or are we good?
I think we're good for that for the full moon, and it also adds to with the moon in Sagittarius and Mars in Leo, and then we've got Saturn and Neptune and Aries. We've got four heavenly bodies in fire signs. That's a lot of energy going on up there. And I think that's going to keep us pretty amped up for a while.
Right. Well, I'm going to pull we're going to do a little reading with Radley Valentine's Angel Tarot. And I thought, I wanted to just pull a card for like an umbrella of an overreaching card. We're going to do a little general reading for all of us for the full moon. Then we're going to find out which of the elements are most triggered, and then which of the three qualities are most triggered of what do we call those? Of fixed, mutable, or cardinal, which one of those? And Triana will explain more about that. So then we just have, kind of an overview. So now we have an understanding of Sag and what's that meaning? Lots of inspiration, possibility. It's a fiery time. Using that as momentum to bring our dreams into reality.
Mm-hmm.
The importance of taking the time now to get that solid foundation in place. Think of it for the rest of the year. We're at your half yearly point. So there's whatever you wanted to intend the first half of the year. Do you need to change your mind on anything? You need to tweak it. Maybe need to get a solid foundation. So hold on. I had to cheat. Sometimes I look before I pull it out. 10 of fire. So with all those fiery signs, interesting. So too much work. It's a time to accept help from others. Just think about it. There's a lot going on, needing to ask for help. Life can feel out of balance because when it's go, 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 sometimes you forget yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to sort of tip over and not feel grounded. And it's this idea of stress-related health concerns. So, and then my deck, which I call my little island cards, I was blessed to grow up there when I was little in summers. All right, so here we go. Follow your heart.
Excellent.
So, you've got that fiery passion and follow your inner knowing. What feels best for you? And yeah, let me just see something else on that. What else that tarot card says.
And while Joan is looking that up, I just wanted to let you know that if you want to know more about, for instance, Neptune and Aries, which it hasn't been since the Revolutionary War, and Saturn and Aries, which it hasn't been in for the last 29 years, I do readings. I'd be happy to do one for you. So my information Jonas put up down below. I do professional readings and have been doing them for, gosh, almost 50 years now. So as I said, my information is below. You can get a hold of me through my website.
Beautiful. AponaAstrology.com. Da, 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 da. So here's the deal, Triana. I think this is interesting. So you've got the 10 of fire right here.
Mm-hmm.
We're all fired up. We want to follow our heart. We need to accept help from others. And then I thought, here's an interesting thought. It's best if you cut unnecessary or burdensome activities from your schedule. Just imagine if you did that.
Yes.
that's going to give you some more ease and some more free time. It's the idea is to slow your pace into an easier way of moving. So I wanted to share a little something. So that's kind of our overview. It's live. The speed is moving it's fire, it could be a wildfire or it could be a candlelight. It's up to us. We direct the way our emotions are firing. And we want to avoid stress-related health concerns. Because believe it or not, 90%, I mean, I've been teaching Qigong. Let's see, I started teaching Qigong in 87. So I've been teaching for 30 some years. And I teach a practice on Wednesdays. Now I'm calling it Good Vibes Qigong. And this is a practice I taught this week, and I just thought you might enjoy it as a way to work when it's go, go, go time. And the idea is follow your heart. Let's strengthen our hearts and get grounded so we have that solid foundation. Then it's easier for us to move forward. So when you're sitting there, just have your feet flat on the ground and then lift your heels and drop them. Just lift your heels, drop them. And you can just do that. Now, what are we doing? Well, and if you want, you can put your hands on your heart, and that just kind of gives you kind of like a little meditative moment. And what I like to do is I like to drop them, pick them up and drop them together. Or you can trot like a horse and do one and then the other, or both together. Vary it however you need to. And the calf muscle is a natural energizer. It's like the motor for your heart, believe it or not, is in your calf muscles. So when you are lifting your heels and dropping them like this, you're actually energizing your heart. So you're strengthening your heart and you're increasing lymphatic flow. So your lymph doesn't have a motor. It needs movement for detoxing. So, just lifting these heels like this and letting them drop. Here's some of the areas it also supports. So it's not only strengthening your heart, this is helping your blood sugar levels. It's increasing circulation. And when you get older, sometimes circulation is slower in your lower extremities. But you can just sit here watching a movie or sitting at your desk and you can lift your heels and let your heels drop, and you are you're boosting your circulation. You're helping your blood sugar. Get this, you're also increasing your digestion because we're strengthening our immune systems by doing this. It flushes out toxins. And it even improves your skin health. Isn't that a cool thing? Just by lifting your heels and letting them drop. It's low impact, it's gentle, it's rhythmic. And, if you're consistent, it's going to help you strengthen mind-body health. And so now just pause for a moment and check back in. I think of this as a real game changer. And just notice, how are your legs feeling? Do you notice any difference in your feet? Can you, oh, you can feel it, Triana? Oh, good. You can feel that change in circulation?
Yeah.
Well, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share every time we do this moon magic. She provides all the moon info. I bring on the magic. Well, together we bring the magic, but I'll play with oracle cards, etc., and just bring in another perspective. But I'm going to also bring in a Qigong practice, which I've been doing pretty regularly. But I'm just going to make sure I do this. And if you find that you like this and you want more, I have a sample practice on my website, and it's just linked below. mountaintopmusings.com, and I'm just calling it Good Vibes Qigong. It's right on my website. And I do a monthly series. So it's a 4-week practice. And we have a theme that we work through for that month. And this is one of the practices that we're going to be focusing on for the month of June. Because when you pause, you are going to notice after you do that movement, and if you do this every day, you're going to be more sure-footed.
It sure has helped me.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it has. Well, I have stenosis in my spine. And you remember I walked with a cane if we'd go out to a meal or something. And I don't need the cane as much anymore because the pain level has dropped so much. So, and that's the only thing I've been doing different. I haven't been taking any meds or anything. I've just been doing the good vibes qigong, and it's helped a lot.
Oh, that's so wonderful. And I think that what I love is that so much of our health we can do ourselves, but we don't know until we can. And think of it this way, you're experimenting. And that's the beauty of it. It's just going to be built into these practices. That's why I wasn't sure I wasn't really comfortable with the moon, calling it moon magic. Then what did you tell me, Tirana? You said if an Aquarian can't add the word magic to a title, there's something wrong.
That's right.
So we're having a little magic. And think of it this way, this month, according to Triana, it's all about that sparkly time. So when things are really sparkly, and that means I get up here. When I get really excited, my heart gets really excited. I get really up here. I'm not in my feet. I'm all up here and thinking and feeling. That's nowhere near my feet. That's the opposite end of the body. So when you're sitting, you could be on a Zoom call. You can take your hands, place them on your belly, lift your heels and flat feet. No one will know you're even doing it. You can do it at a restaurant. You can do it at your desk. And here's the best part. Every time you do this, you benefit. Keep it simple, keep it easy, and then see how that works for you. So that's that. Let's go on to, who do you think, Triana, of the signs, who's going to be the most easily triggered by the Sag moon?
Well, definitely the fire signs Sagittarius, Aries, and Leo.
Sag, Aries, and Leo. Well, so I'm going to pull a card now for Sag, Aries, and Leo. And I'm going to use this particular deck here, which is Kyle Gray's Angels and Ancestors. It's the deck I always use for full moons. And then I always like this part too. Guardians of the four corners, Mother in the earth, Father in the sky, angels, ancestors, sacred ones. I call on you and welcome you here now. I set the intention that whatever is gained from the lessons learned from this tool will be dedicated to the growth of all beings in all places. So, for Sagittarius, it's the mirror guardian. Take time to reflect. So what comes up for me, take time to reflect. You've got this huge flashlight in the sky that's lighting up anything that you want to remember. Take time to reflect. And Aries is an Aboriginal art, the elder. And for Aries, it's about move beyond ancestral patterns. And for Leo, oh God, this is great. We've got the Shaolin master in a red outfit. We've got a dragon. Be graceful in movement and action. So we have 4 heavenly bodies in the fire signs, and then the fire signs are 3 that are going to be most triggered, and their lessons to us are be graceful in movement and action. Move beyond your ancestral patterns and take time to reflect. Beautiful. Anything you want to add to that, Triana?
No, I think that says everything right there.
Yeah, that just feels really good.
Mm-hmm.
So now let's look at, is this fixed, mutable, or is Sag fixed, mutable, or a cardinal sign?
It's mutable.
And can you explain what that is again?
The mutable signs are the distributors of the zodiac, and they're the ones that they do not initiate or terminate things. They distribute, and for instance, distribute information, distribute materials. They distribute. That's what mutable signs do. They're also changeable and adaptable.
And can you tell me what would be the mutable signs for this moon?
That would be Sagittarius, Gemini, excuse me, Sagittarius, Gemini, Virgo, and Pisces.
Okay, so for Sag, where'd you see this? Eagle.
Ooh.
See from a higher perspective. So we're talking all about having your dreams come to life.
And also Sagittarius is the natural philosopher as well.
Awesome. Gemini. The sun. Enjoy success and happiness.
Nice.
And Virgo, the seer.
Ooh.
See
Oh, I like that
beyond,
card.
isn't that nice? See
Yeah.
beyond the current situation. Which you would do in order to create a solid foundation and bring your dreams to life. And Pisces. Oh, this is wonderful. She-wolf.
Mm.
Unleash the wild within.
Oh, nice.
So the gift of the mutable signs for all of us are It's time to unleash the wild within. See beyond your current situation. Really enjoy success and happiness and start to see things from a higher perspective. Love that.
Yeah, me too.
So if you are thinking back, as you think back on this, from this full moon, if you had, say, 3 words for this full moon that you would want people to know about, take away just 3 words from today's um, reading, what would the 3 words be for you?
Oh gosh. Well, I could form a 3-word sentence. Does that count?
Anything you want.
Have fun now. Or fun, frolic, and play.
In other words, have fun now.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. I love it. And I'm going to just see. And the little island card. Oh, why don't I? Oh, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do 3 as well. So Triana's takeaway were 3 words, have fun now. And then I'm going to do 3 little island cards. And my message is count your blessings, never give up, and cultivate compassion.
Fantastic.
Have fun now. Well, how do I do that? Well, you count your blessings, you never give up, and you cultivate compassion. Dun, 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 dun. I think we did it.
I think so too.
Oh, and my new thing is sharing what I'm sipping. So I'm always sipping tea during these times. And today I'm in India. And this is a tea that I like. I'll leave it below. This one is a sweet Himalayan green tea. See if I can see what's in it. And it has a lot of good things in it. I can't remember all of the different what I like about this particular blend is it's very soothing. So if you're wanting a tea, it's a beautiful golden color, very soothing. And if you're really, really fiery and you want something that softens the edges and is just welcoming and warming, the sweet Himalayan tea, I think, is a lovely one. And I buy it as a loose tea. And again, it's one that just helps me ground and stay in that soft place instead of having edges. Just sort of softens how I feel in that moment. So that's why I think it's helpful.
As for me, I'm drinking my Diet Coke and I'm in America right now.
American Indian, there's magic afoot.
Doesn't have a single redeeming quality to it.
I need all the redeeming qualities I can get. That's what I love about balance. It's all good.
Exactly. We're hydrating.
Wherever we are is just right. And Midnight is joining in. He likes this idea.
Yeah,
Midnight, your eyes are just popping like this because his eyes are as bright as this full moon is going to be. So, Triana always reminds us to look up, at night, look up and enjoy the moon. And our next new moon, just so you know, we're going to have the new moon in Cancer on June 25th. And on June 23rd, I'll have this posted. And, you know, if you enjoyed this today and you want to be with us again, all you need to do is sign up below. And then whenever there's a new video posted, in Moon Magic, it'll automatically go into your subscription and you just watch it anytime. But I think it's kind of a cool thing when you find out, say you were born as a fire sign. Well, if it's a fiery moon, depending on which aspect of your astrology chart, I think there's always something in each one of these videos for everyone because it gives you an understanding of what's going on in the world, and then you can use it to your advantage.
Mm-hmm.
It just sort of highlights it. I That's what I love about astrology is it helps me navigate because I have an insatiable curiosity. I'm a teacher in terms of business. Um, and my intent is always to be a much better student than I am teacher. And I love to be a good teacher, but to me, a good teacher is only as good as their curiosity and their knowledge. And I'm somebody who's studying every single day. And that's why my classes, I mean, that's how I I only teach classes I want to take. Because we're all in there, and maybe teach isn't the right word, maybe it's even lead. Because, we're all in it together. We're all making that contribution. I just have more hours into the discipline than the people who are joining me. That's all. But we're all equally talented in our own creativity. It's just a question of how we express it. So that's the scoop. I think we're all set. Is there anything else you need to say, Triana?
Nope, we've done a good job here today.
Excellent. Thank you, Midnight, for your input. And all of my information and Triana's information is below here. I'll hook up the last new moon so you can kind of see what's happening in the month. So you can follow that video. And we look forward to seeing you again the end of June. Let's see
And
how
thank
the moon
you.
lights you up. What was that you were saying, Triana?
I said, thank you for being here with us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And take good care and hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.
Bye.